And we're live. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hits and Heels. It's Wednesday night, and we are kicking off the Women's Football Alliance Championship weekend with the one and only Lois Cook. And so, for those of y'all don't know, I am a football coach. My husband made me a football coach. We're getting ready. We just started our seventh season in middle school, but 3 years ago, I got introduced to women's tackle football, and I was a coach for our local women's tackle football team here in Kentucky, the only women's tackle football team that has brought the state of Kentucky a national championship, the Derby City Dynamite. And of course, my girl Lois Cook is in the championship game on Saturday. So we're gonna have to figure this out because and we'll get to that. So Lois, I have her bio, and so I'm gonna have her talk about everything that she does because what y'all need to know, though, the only thing y'all need to know is she is the face of women's tackle football.
Oh my goodness.
Face of women's tackle football. And you all need to know what all is going on this weekend in Canton. And girl, you're already in Canton.
Yes, just touched down. I'm so excited to be here. I'm beyond excited. I'm talking about like this weekend is gonna be jam packed with nothing but football on top of football on top of football on top of football. But I finally get to play in the championship game, so I'm
Yes.
so excited.
When was the last time the DC because you guys have a championship, right? Or yes? You guys have a championship?
I'm sorry, it cut out for one second.
Oh no! Is the internet trying to is not letting us to be letting us be
Right.
great today? Oh my God! Of course. So my question was, when was the last time the DC Divas been in the championship game?
Yeah, so we played in the championship in 2016. So that was our third championship title. We've had four, but in 2009 we didn't win. We lost by 2 points against Kansas City. Still remember it like it was yesterday. So
I know them
so
how that
finally
is.
we're back. But this has been a long time coming. The Divas have been in this rebuilding phase for quite some time. COVID hit. We after that 2016 championship, we started to lose our vets, that core group of divas that made this like the solid, well-oiled machine. So we started getting more and more rookies in. So we've been rebuilding since then. And then COVID hit, and then all the challenges with that. So we are finally here, and we deserve it. We deserve it. I can't wait.
You deserve it. I mean, you got one of my favorite coaches, of course, y'all CEO, COO, Coach Pat.
Yeah.
And so and I'm just so excited for her. I talked to her the other. She was like, "Coach, I'll see you in Canton, but I've been traveling for the last couple of weeks." And I was like, I'm going to Canton." He's like, "You're not going to Canton." I was like, "But I want to go to Canton. I'm going to last season." So I'm still trying to get to Canton.
Right. Well,
So
you
I
got some
pull
time.
up. I pull up. Y'all don't be
Come
surprised if I
through.
pull up. If I pull up. I pull up. Well, go ahead and give more of your story. Is absolutely fantastic on how you got into football. What made you fall in love with football? Because I know at one time you thought you was going to be the first woman in the NFL, and
Right.
so let's take us through that journey from the beginning.
Yeah, thank you. And also, thank you so much for your earlier words that you spoke about me. Thank you for the introduction. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. But yeah, I started playing football with my brother as a young girl, where I was the only girl in the neighborhood. So for me, it was normal to just jump on people and pull people and just be rough. And I enjoyed it so much. It's like the adrenaline rush from it, the challenge of like trying to be your best self. I absolutely love that. So when I went to high school, that was the first time I was introduced to organized football. And at that time, I'm telling the coach, yeah, I'm going to play. But he was like, no, you're not. And, at that time, it wasn't abnormal. So I didn't see any other girls play. So I just accepted it that was the thing. So I ended up following the boys and watching everything that they did, and I would just absorb it. And so I ended up being so obsessed with the sport. I went to Clark Atlanta University in Georgia, and I carried my football everywhere I went. I threw it back and forth to people walking down the promenade on my way to class. I'm throwing the football. And the security guard on campus ended up being the head coach of the women's team there in Atlanta. At that time, way back when, it was called the Atlanta Leopards. So I was able to play 2 seasons with them. I was a quarterback, and I this was really early. Okay. So I don't want to talk about my Atlanta team, but we didn't really have a solid line. So I was running for my life the whole time. And so my experience as quarterback was very challenging, but I absolutely love the game. So when I came back home to DC, I Googled it and I found the Divas. I've been with the Divas ever since. Now, one thing that's very interesting, I'll tell you, is since I've been with the Divas, we've had three championships. Well, we've been to four. We've had three titles, but that I each year that we've won, I've had a baby. So I didn't actually play in any of these games. And then in 2009, when we went to the championship and we lost, I couldn't play because that was the year I broke my leg. So this has been truly a long time coming for me. But more, other than on the field, off the field, I've been so involved with just trying to promote the sport and just grow the game. And my biggest passion is just trying to give back to the young girls who were like me when I was in high school and I didn't see someone in this sport and I knew I wanted it, but I didn't have that path forward. So that's pretty much it. That's where I've come in, and that's why you see my face all over the place. And I know it's my face, but I really hope to be a representation of all the women that play this sport. We deserve to be here. We deserve the recognition, and we work hard for it. So I just hope that a little bit of what I do could be a positive impact on this sport as a whole.
I think your TikToks, your videos are the bomb. They are so, oh my, they're so entertaining and they're so
There's
funny. And so I'm like, how do y'all not just latch on to her? And I just think you're doing a great job of just representing women who want to play football. And I think that's it. So after that, so this weekend, actually, what's today? Wednesday. So Friday, you guys gonna kick off. You're gonna do a little media day, and then at 11, I think 11:30 is the Futures Camp.
Yes. So that's what it's all about. So this is a jam-packed weekend. Friday morning we have the WFA flag, which is the first season of that this year. So we have WFA flag happening that morning, a tournament. After that, we have the futures, and this is where our All-Americans, our best of the best in the league, get to coach those young girls and show them what this game is about. They get to learn the game. They get to be a part of this, just something bigger. And what's also very special about it is that the young girls who do participate in the camp, they'll get a T-shirt, but they'll also get a certificate of participation, and they get to stand with the All-Americans during the national anthem. So they will be down there on the field with those women, and I think that's just so special for those young girls who really look up to us. And there's so many girls out there that aspire to play football, and they just need a space to play. And we appreciate the men, okay? We appreciate the guys that coach because we need you, right? We need the guys. But there's something special about a woman who plays football to impact a young girl who plays football. So I just think that's such a huge positive piece about the WFA and the possibilities and the opportunities that it provides.
I love it. I have been able to experience championship weekend a couple the last two seasons, and I really enjoy the futures camp and just how they just set girls up, and them girls are already ballers. But what
Yes.
has me the most excited about that are all the opportunities that they have now to get a full ride scholarship on the next level that weren't there even 2 years ago.
Absolutely. And you think about that, like it doesn't stop there, right? You now girls have an opportunity to go to school and play football, to play this sport that we all love so much, but they can actually get a scholarship and go to school for it. But not only that, they have opportunities to coach. They have opportunities to be Olympians now. The sport is in the Olympics. So just making this league and this sport bigger than what it has been is truly, just remarkable. It's just great to see that the possibilities that the girls have.
I thought one of the highlights of this past season was when the WFA brought on the flag. So tell me how that's going to work. Is every every tackle team asked, or can they get a flag team now, or how does that work?
Yeah, so this is exciting. So the all of the teams that have had a successful season and have made it to the postseason, so the teams that have made it to the playoffs will be able to field a flag team. And then the teams that have made it to the championship, so DC Divas won't have a flag team to this year, and St. Louis Slam won't have a flag team this year. Proudly,
Okay.
but it's so great that these teams we are balling. We're working so hard, blood, sweat, and tears for. And you think the season is from April through July, but it's actually from October through July. You know what I mean? So you start way back when with off-season training, with tryouts and all the things. So to see the teams move through the season, and just because they kind of fell off in the playoffs, they still get an opportunity to play. And because flag has grown so much, we want to be able to contribute back to that, to the sport, with the WFA, and being able to field these teams and make it bigger and better. This year, we're also sanctioned by USA Flag Football, so that's exciting as well. So the teams that have made it to the postseason, but didn't make it to the championship, will get to play flag. And I believe they there might have some players, other players might have the opportunity to join those teams. So it may not be just the roster, so it might open up to other individuals who are interested in playing as well.
Okay. Well, my co-host has graciously joined us. Well, babe, looks like we're having some still having some technical difficulties, but we're still moving on.
All right. Well, how are you doing?
I'm fired up. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Well, I guess my first question, as I was downstairs, I came in and how you doing, babe?
Okay.
And just got out of football practice. The first NFL young lady, huh? I've seen that in basketball. So, what position did you think about you wanted to play if you was the first NFL woman to play in NFL?
Yeah, well, it wasn't kicker. I'll tell you that. I didn't know, but I would take any. I can't kick a ball to save my life. I could probably punt, but kicking it off that tee is a different story. But anyways, I think that at that time when I was growing up, I was really strong-minded about playing quarterback. So of course, I don't know that who knows where I would have been or where I would have ended up, but I would have been a quarterback if I had my choice.
Well, I'm
hmm
just okay.
hmm
I was hoping you would talk defense.
He's a defensive person, so he can't
But I
stand
love defense. Listen, I love defense. I
No,
probably,
hold up. Time out. You
I,
said quarterback. I'm gonna be a
uh,
quarterback.
but I like to hit people. So defense too. Okay. But quarterback, something I just really enjoy. I'm thinking about back in that time. Now, if it was today, I'd probably be a wide receiver, but I still like to hit people. So, but yeah, back
Do
at
you
that
play
time,
both
I was
sides of the
very
ball?
like,
'Cause I know you play wide receiver. Do you play DB as well?
I have played DB. Yeah. Yeah.
So
You
what's
know
your
what?
primary position?
I was a corner. Yeah, but you know what I really want to do? I really want to be a D end. I feel like
Coming off the
Okay,
edge.
she just.
I feel like I could
Hold
just
up.
swoop,
For
whoop,
people
whoop.
that don't know, that's called wrong arming, and she's like, I'm getting in that gap. I'm getting in that gap. I like
Yeah.
that. I'm
Now
getting
the
in that.
thing is, and I'll just tell you real quick why that speaks to me, like, or why I'm so like interested in that position. I had the pleasure and the opportunity to coach, be an intern coach with the NFL Alumni Academy, and when we were there, I spent a week with the D line, and I was like, oh, I was learning so much, and I'm looking at them go and everything, and it was, and that, yeah, yeah. So I feel like that's in my heart, in my spirit. I feel like I could be a DN.
So in your spirit, okay.
She's coming off the
Yeah,
edge.
but here's the thing: is I've got this. I figured this out. I'm a small man. In the highlight, because they get paid more, she's gonna be a quarterback. But in her spirit, she's a defensive end.
Right, exactly. But you know what? But to be honest with you, I don't want the quarterback no more. That's too much drama. I really don't. Like, I would just let me be the wide receiver and just run my route, do my thing, and then not have to worry about everything else.
All right.
So after all the injuries, because you've had broken fingers, patellas, legs, how in the heck do you come back?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I strongly feel that it's mind over matter. I really do feel that way. When I broke my leg, I broke my tibia, fibula, and my ankle all at the same time. And I tell you, that pain was something else. But I was so early, I think early in my career with football, that I just had this hunger to play, that nothing was going to stop me. And so when that injury happened, my mind was already on recovery. Like, I got surgery, I'm already thinking about when am I getting back on the field. And I didn't actually go through physical therapy at that time when I had that injury. So as soon as I could bear weight on my leg, and I would use the towel, I knew to do the towel to get my ankle moving. But as soon as I could bear weight, I was running up and down the stairs. I was like, just, it was a little painful, but I was very like, my desire was to get back on the field. It wasn't ever a thought of recovery. It wasn't ever that wasn't a piece of the thought process for me. It was just, well, okay, when we going back on the field, let's go. So I broke my leg, and it was in June when I broke it. And then I did play the very next season. So,
Wow, very good recovery.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
impressive
tell you
because a lot
what,
of people have that mind block when they come back
hmm
and they're not the same because they're afraid
hmm
of going through an injury again. So I'm just
that's the
wondering
thing.
how you were able to overcome that.
Yeah, and that's the base. That's the thing about it. It's the mentality, because when you're injured and you have to put a halt to what you've known every day, what you've been doing every single day, and then you got to automatically just cold turkey stop. That's difficult. And then it comes with that risk of fear that when you get back on the field. Oh, now I don't want to get hurt again. Now I don't want, so you start to move different, and you can't play football afraid. I remember also, I wasn't injured, but I was pregnant. And
Pregnant.
in 2019, I started the season, and then I found out I was pregnant. I was like, yeah, he was an accident and it wasn't planned. But I found out I was pregnant, and I started to move different. Like, I was so early on with the pregnancy that it was still safe, so to speak, and we weren't hitting yet. But when I would catch the ball, I could tell my body would move away from my stomach.
Mhm.
I would catch the ball. So it becomes a thought process. So if it is, when the injury or whatever that is the situation, when that becomes a thought process, when you have to actually think about it, it becomes difficult to play this game. Because football, you got to react, you got to move, everything is very instant. But I didn't. Yeah, with my injuries now, I broke my pinky twice. I remember I cried the second time because I was thinking about, I don't want to go back through recovery, and I'm a receiver at this point, I got to catch, right? So it's,
Yes.
but it's that thought process. Today, I've broken a couple more, and I was like, oh, I'm not doing it. I'm not going back through the process of waiting it out and putting a cat. Nope, we're just gonna play. So tape it up and let's go.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Mhm.
impressive.
Well, I'm gonna follow up. There's a question coming up right when I get done, but my question I was going to ask: how many kids you have? Are they into football? And I don't know
Yeah.
if you've already asked that because I
What's
have to.
impressive is you playing football, recovering, having a child. Okay, walk us through all that because
Oh,
that's impressive.
No, no, but I want. I mean,
yeah.
Yes.
do you have kids
Yeah.
that's playing?
I got.
Oh,
I have four sons. They're all boys. They are five. They're five,
you can't get
eight,
my
nine.
man over this.
All boy,
Wow.
I didn't have not one girl, but they're 5, 8, 10. He just turned 10, and then I have a 19-year-old. So, and they all love football. They love it. They actually, my 19-year-old, when he was younger, he'd watch me play football. But then when he'd see NFL on TV, he'd say, "Look, it's mommy football." So he saw it as the women. So, and I love that for them, that, now they grow up, and then when they go to school, they'll be able to support the girls who want to play. They're like, "Oh yeah, my mom plays," or, whatever.
That's
But yeah,
sweet.
they love the sport. And each year that I had them, couldn't play football, but but I came right back.
I
Kids
love
getting
it.
in the way, I tell you.
Even before
Just
they
kidding.
are here, right? So,
Right.
did your husband play football? Is he active
He
in that
No,
kind
he
of?
did not. My ex-husband, yeah, no, he did not.
Okay.
He played basketball. Yeah,
Okay,
but I
but he
was the
played the sport.
athlete.
Okay. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
They get it from their mom.
They get it from their
They get
mama.
it from their mom. But you know what also is interesting, and I'll just say this real quick because I'm so proud of this. But I do have
Mhm.
four boys. I have all boys. But what's really sweet to me is that, with TikTok and with social media, I've been able to reach out and touch a lot of young girls across the country. And at one point, there was a little trend going on. It wasn't huge, but there were a few girls that jumped on it, and they posted videos of them playing football, and then it would clip to me playing football. And the song that they played over top of it was Mama Said It Was Okay. So for me, those are my daughters. Those
Oh,
are my girls. So
yeah.
I know I got the boys that physically I had the boys, but I got girls out there too.
I love that. So, B Fierce was on my team. She said after her ACL and meniscus, she took a season off and definitely had a mind block. So, shout out to you. That's
Mm.
amazing. And Mr.
Mhm.
Brown asked, what gave you this passion for the sport and the zeal to return after so many injuries?
Yeah, like this is my game. I think I'm just so in it. I'm so passionate about it. Like to me, there is nothing that's going to keep me from this sport. I've made it my career. There's
Yeah.
nothing, like this is if it has anything to do with Lois, it's going to be football.
Okay.
And the injury again, like that's just the thing that, it's something that I can't. You're going to have obstacles no matter what you do, what you face. But with football, you got to have a little bit of crazy because you're about to get, you could get injured. So you got to have that. I mean, that is a possibility, but
Yeah.
you just take it as it comes. And I hope and pray, and God willing, I can continue to play and on my terms and not have to go off injured. But it is a real risk. But you can't think about that. Those are the things that you can't move forward if you're thinking about that.
So is that the advice that you give moms that with boys or even with girls when they come and ask you about whether or not they want their child to play football? Because I know when we don't recruit, but when we're
Hmm.
recruiting, and I ask kids, we've come across that a couple of times where they're like, well, I
Yeah.
just don't want them to get injured.
Right. And this is a big question. And let me tell you something about this. I'm glad you asked it because football and any sport risks injury. But there was a study done by the NIH that showed I can't remember, I think it was 2019, might have been 2021, I
No
don't remember,
worries.
but
We'll
there was a
Google it.
study done that showed you that the three top sports of injury, basketball and soccer, were before football. So any sport is going to risk injury, but the beauty of sports is that it's more than the physical side. You learn character development. So don't hinder or prevent, don't keep yourself from those opportunities, the rewards that come from this sport just because of the fear of injury. And I know it's tough for parents because I actually think about it myself. I don't want my kids to get hurt. But you can't. How do you live life when you're afraid to do anything? You'll lose out so much.
Well, my history, real quickly, is my mom passed, but if it wasn't my father passed when I was 2, and if it wasn't for my stepdad and the love and the trust my mom had, I would have never played football.
Mhm.
Because when he
Mhm.
stepped in, she was like, you're gonna be all right. And then the
Yeah.
second game, I got not hurt, I got injured. And then
Mm.
and with that said is actually that's when I was expecting her to baby me, but she was like, "You be all right. You be all right.
Oh, okay.
You be all right."
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she figured it out.
And I think mothers just, and fathers too, but mothers certainly have just a natural worry about their kids. And,
Yes.
of course, we don't want them to get hurt. But my kids run outside, and I'm telling you, my 5-year-old, he can just run outside, and not do nothing else and get hurt because he will fall and scrape a knee or something. So let him play.
Let 'em-
So, okay, now Saturday. Okay, so let's go back to this weekend. So Friday we have the flag football, then we have the futures camp, and
Mhm.
then the D3 championship,
Yes. D3. Yep.
2:30,
Yep.
and then at 6:30 the D2 championship.
That's right. Yes. So we've got
All that on
Richmond.
Friday. That's a long day,
All of that. Yes, it is a long day. And it's fun and it's all
and
about
it's
football. So
fun,
I'm all about it
and
too.
it's fun.
But yes, it's jam packed. I mean, that's the beauty of like this weekend is everybody can come together and get so much out of it. It's not like you travel to see different teams play. You travel week after week to different places. You can come to one location and get all of this football. But you've got the Richmond Black Widows taking on the Oklahoma Rage, and oh, don't quote me on that. It might be
Oh,
Storm. Lord have
I just
mercy.
added
Sorry. But anyways,
Baltimore
Richmond.
and
I'm gonna say Richmond is playing Oklahoma, and then Baltimore is playing Salt Lake. So So you got 2 DMV teams coming to the championship.
Okay. DMV representing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, jam-packed on Friday. That's going to be fun to watch. They're always very, very fun.
But Saturday is the day because we have the championship game on at 2:00. Correct? On ESPN 2.
That's correct. Yes. ESPN 2, 2:00. You got yours truly, DC Divas, taking on the St. Louis Slam.
Who's going to color? Because normally you're at the sideline reporter.
Normally, yes. I couldn't wait to tell the production crew. I was like, sorry, can't do it this year. I'm gonna miss it. But yeah, so we will definitely have someone in place to do that. But St. Louis is the defending champ, so this is gonna be exciting to play against them. But 2:00 is gonna be a hot afternoon. But yeah, on ESPN too. So it is, yeah. And this is it's going down.
Everybody, it's going down at
That's
2:00
right.
this Saturday on ESPN 2. You will be able to tune in to watch our championship women's tackle football game.
Yep. And right after that, we have the All-American game. So you get 2 games on Saturday as well. So at 6:30 will be the All-American game on Saturday.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I like how they flipped it because normally it's the other way around, and they have the All-American game first, and then people that make it on the championship teams don't normally get.
They don't have the opportunity to play.
Yeah. So you guys are going to play in this game and then turn around and play again.
Right now. I don't know how they gonna do it. I know I'm not no spring chicken, but in flag, I remember playing flag. Like flag, you could play back to back to back to back.
Absolutely.
But tackle is a whole different beast. So, but I love that they have the opportunity. So once they get through the championship, if you feel like you can do it, jump in and do it. I love that I do love that they flipped it. Yeah,
I do that too. So Mr. Brown said your toughness regarding being injured should be an embarrassment to the NBA players that don't play due to non-fractures.
Well, you know,
but we're women. We have a higher tolerance for pain. We can go through stuff for just a little bit more than men can.
Let me
we
say
can a little bit more.
No.
Okay. I think your environment also speaks for it too, because you train a little bit different with football. You got to have a toughness to it, but the NBA, I mean, it is what it is. But you don't play. It's the environment.
Well, and also,
it's not meant to be tough. It's just basketball. It's basketball.
It's just basketball.
I'm a basketball lover. Basketball is my work.
I love it too.
Let me say this, because as y'all snuck in the back door, those male bashing moments y'all just had. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I'm gonna say this. It is a blessing. So don't compare males to NBA players in injuries, because I don't think they just don't want to play 82 games. They want to make their paycheck and go on. Because football players in the NFL, they will play. Your cousin, Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Broken shoulder.
It's
players Jack Youngblood, a broken leg. And I think the mindset is I think football has that more of a mindset. And I didn't mean y'all's bashing, but I'm saying football has more of a mindset. I don't want to let my teammate down.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is definitely a toughness, and it's that drive in the game, because this is the game. It's a collision sport, so you have to expect it. So that therefore the threshold of injury is going to be much different than in the NBA. So I think it's
So do you have a dance you do when you score a touchdown? Going back to your receiver day moments, do you have a dance? I mean, can you stand up? Can you show us your dance?
Need to figure that out, because I know I don't have a dance.
You don't? Wow.
No, the last touchdown, and I'm looking back at the tape. The last touchdown I scored, I literally just put the ball behind my back. Like, why? I don't know, because I knew I was across the line, so we wasn't gonna do nothing anyway. But I don't know. I got to figure that out. I got to work on it. Before a few years
she's gonna
back,
be on national TV. Your one opportunity to be on national TV this Saturday. So you're gonna have to represent if you get in the end zone.
I will.
You're already
Listen,
the face.
for whoever's watching, I am taking suggestions right now. But back in a few years back, with all the girls on TikTok, they wanted me to do this for them to do, like, just like TikTok.
Yeah.
So that's simple. But yeah, I'll take suggestions. I don't know if they're gonna get done, but I got to work on that.
Well, I'm really surprised based on your boys don't say, "Mom, do this dance or do that dance." They've never suggested anything.
Probably the gritty, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We not a conversation we have too often. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
Now, and I mean that. You know how I'm saying, because usually boys, because they're watching the males do their dance, and
yep.
mom's big time too. Now mom's got a level too. So mom scores, and you be like, watch my mom, watch what she
Right,
do.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I love that they are very excited about it. They do kind of brag on it a little bit, but yeah, the dances, we haven't really scratched the surface on that yet.
Wow.
Coach Pap don't play none of that anyway, though, do she?
Yeah, but there's a different. But my point is, it's sort of like, okay,
because you don't play that.
Okay, but no, our kids do a dance because as a coach who's strict, okay, I just happen not to be looking. Like if they start dancing, I usually turn my head like I'm not looking. I ain't got to say anything. And I wait 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Then I turn around, they'll see me and then they'll stop, but they got their dance in. And now I don't have to say anything.
Right, right.
Because they'd be like, "Did you see that? Did you
give them a chance."
Yes.
Brittany said, "Hit the quan." Brittany said, "Hit the quan."
Okay. Okay, suggestion number 1.
She said, "Hit the quan." Oh my goodness. Okay, so after y'all kick off the championship, after the All-American game, then y'all gonna party the rest of the night.
That's right.
The party.
Yeah, we have a special guest this year. Gorillas Though is going to be here. So we have our after party, the WFA after party. We also have a Divas after party. So when we win, we're going to celebrate all night long.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. If I'm able to sneak up there, I'm crashing that party.
Let's go. It only happens once a year. I'm just saying, you got to come.
Well, one of the things I love about you, the reason why I feel like that you're the face of, is because tell us about, you have like 2 personas. I know you have the cleats and stilettos, which is how people can find you on social media. But you have footballer.
Yeah.
Football her.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell us about it.
Yes. Yeah. So Footballer was started in 2019. And this is when I had actually did a competition, an online competition, to be on the cover of a magazine. And the grand prize, if I were to win, was going to be $20,000. And so people could vote every day and things like that. And so I said that if I won, what I wanted to do with the money is start a foundation for football to give back to women's football. Now, I didn't win. I got to the semifinals, but for me, the amount of support that's just from everywhere, I was so like thrown away by all the support that I received. So I was like, nope, I'm doing it anyway. So I started Football Her. It's also Lois Cook Foundation, but I don't like to use my name. So Football Her. And that's just to provide opportunity, access, to provide mentorship. This year we have the biggest activation that we've had so far is a cleat drive. So now we're providing cleats for over 275 girls in DC who play high school flag football. One of the biggest challenges that we saw in these girls was that they didn't have cleats to play. And I'm like, what? How are you playing football with no cleats? And it's like bizarre to me, because I'm, as an athlete, I can't imagine risking injury or underperforming. These girls are so talented. Can you imagine if they had the right equipment? So we're going to provide cleats for the girls. So that's the Football Her side. We're also going to provide them with prom dresses and also a camp to just teach the game. But the mentorship has been going on for years. And I also travel the country to visit girls who play when they're the only girl on the football team with the boys. I carry my helmet to show them they might be the only girl, but they're not alone, because we've got thousands of women across this country who are right there in their corner. And then so that's the nonprofit side, and then of course Cleats and Stilettos is really the promotion marketing side to try to expose the women who deserve the recognition for playing the sport.
Outstanding.
Well, and Mr. Brown, real quick before I respond to that, yeah, I remember Butch Johnson, number 86 for the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, and
how about them Cowboys,
okay,
Mr. Brown?
We don't want to talk about that. All right, and I want to say, hey, what's up, niece?
She's a commander.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting a Cowboy. Oh, yeah, that's her only fault. That's her only fault. Everything else is A. She's still an A. She's not A plus. She's an A. She's not A minus. She's an A.
Okay.
So, okay,
we'll let you have that one.
Yeah. That's a polite. I don't hear that. I don't hear that. Okay, but my biggest thing is I have to ask, because of the enthusiasm that you have in football, being a male. She knows I found that like a wow. So have you ever had the hating male that has said something to you?
Oh, give us the hate.
You understand what I'm saying? Because it's not we always positive here, but I mean, like, my wife is football through and through.
Yeah.
I mean, I could get a phone call, Coach, what are you doing? I'm washing dishes. What's Terry doing? She's watching preseason football. Ain't none of them gonna be on the team tomorrow. And I shake my head. Period. But she's gonna watch.
But I'm watching it anyway.
So the question again. I mean, the two-part question. How does it make you feel? Because you're a football person, not a gender football person. You're a football person.
Yep.
And so please tell us the whole story if you can, and two-part
so
question.
the crazy thing is, in person they don't say very much. If you're in front of somebody, that you don't get the hate. It's a lot of online negativity that comes with it. I've played right. Okay. Because usually it's people who didn't have the opportunity to continue playing, or aren't doing as well as I am. Then they feel like they have to try to tear it down. But I've played my whole life, so going through childhood and getting all the way to college, and being able to play in the women's league, not having that type of negativity hit me. When I got it for the first time, I actually cried. I had a whole day where I was like, wow, this is terrible. I posted a video, went viral, and then the boys in the comments, they just started flooding the comments. You're too slow, you're too weak, this and this and this and this. And I'm looking at it like, my whole life I've been playing this sport. I've never experienced this. But what hit me was those girls that I mentor, those girls are dealing with these things in the present time. So I'm like, okay, now I see what they're going through. I know how to address it. And so I wouldn't respond to everybody, but I would make comments. I would respond to certain comments in a way that would speak to the girls to keep them encouraged. And then also I would take it and I would apply it. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to look at it constructively. Okay, why do you run like that? Okay, well, let me figure out how I'm running. Okay, let me do some more stretches. Let me know. I want to better myself. So if you see something wrong, let me know. And guess what? We're going to do it 10 times better the next time.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So I hate that it happens. And I think, a lot of times the problem this is what I think happens when it comes to women's football. It's definitely something that people are not used to, but you fall into a natural mistake of comparing the women to the NFL. And really it's apples and oranges, because the men in the NFL have all the resources today. They have the money, the resources to the medical resources on top, to be able to play this sport every day, all day. When I was coaching in the NFL Alumni Academy, I was like, my mind was blown that you wake up in the morning, you get fed breakfast, then you go out and do your position workouts, and then you go and do your strength training, then you go to the pool, and then you go do yoga, and then you go to the classroom. I was like, this whole day, I was like, I want this for my, I cried that day too, because I was like, yeah, we should have this too. But I enjoyed it so much. But anyway, it's apples and oranges. Like, the math doesn't add up, right? Because if Johnny has 5 apples, how many apples does Teresa have? She don't have apples. She has oranges that fell off a tree, but she still made orange juice anyway. So it's definitely a whole different situation when it comes to men and women. And so you have this this natural like instinct to just compare. Oh, I don't see you hitting somebody like Ray Lewis, but guess what? I just started playing when I was 18 years old. Ray
Right.
Lewis was playing when he
he
was,
was
you know what I
5.
mean? So right. So yeah.
I'm sorry. I have to give you credit because that, and I mean that because that is about the stupidest thing. There's a big difference between a 6'6", 255-pound male hitting. I'm surprised you didn't jack him in the
Well,
mouth.
but don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me wrong, because we got 6'6", 250-pound women as well
Okay.
that can, destroy somebody on the field. But it
No.
is
I'm not.
definitely the.
But
I know
it's
you're not saying it like
yeah,
that, but yeah.
okay. I'm not saying it like that, but let's be realistic. If Terry and I both work out, I'm going to get stronger
Oh
because
yeah.
God wanted it that way.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's the same thing. What you should have said is, why ain't you hitting like that? And then I would have came back and said, why ain't you carrying a baby for 8 months, 9 months?
Right. Exactly. And those are very
They're
real.
different.
It's very, yes, that is
We're
very real
different.
facts
We're
right there.
different. And
But I,
my wife
I'm
loving football does not make her not feminine. She's beautiful.
right.
She's gorgeous.
Yep. And that's part of cleats and stilettos too, is to show, you can be feminine, be strong. You can be feminine, play football. You can be feminine, be fierce. But I don't all the yippee. No, let's just line up on the field and let's just, go to work. How about that? Instead of talking back and forth, who can't do what? Let's just line up.
Yeah, because who was the Hall of Famer that you took? There's a video of you taking the Hall of Famer.
Yes,
You were barefoot with a coat down to your knees.
Yes, I was wearing a dress and a trench coat. It was Mr. Clarence Vaughn, 2-time Super Bowl champ. And let me explain myself for a little bit, because we were at a watch party with him, Gary Clark, John Booty, like Raven Caldwell, and Deion Fox. I mean, we just out there. And so, of course, when you have athletes talking to athletes, you're going to start to challenge, right? So the guys were like, "Oh yeah, you can't see me in a one-on-one." I was like, "Let's go." So then after I said that, that was the grass area, which was right outside.
Yeah.
That this is what was told to me, and I'm not going to name who said it because I'm not going to call them out, but they were like, "Oh, we can't do it because we don't have a ball." So I said, "Oh, okay, excuse me." So I went downstairs to my car and I got my ball, and I even brought my helmet. I was like, "Well, let's go." So we went outside, and then I had on heels, so I did take my heels off. All right, I'm not crazy. I'm not going to twist an ankle, but took my heels off, and then the rest was history.
When we get off of here, I'm gonna show you the video.
Well, see, first of all,
I'm gonna show you the video.
Okay, but babe, I'm real, as you can tell. My thing is this: I'm sitting there talking smack to you, and then you go, "Hold on." If you go outside and bring a football back, I got a hamstring pull. I'm not going up against you. If you go, yes, I'm gonna check you. But if you go, what? And then I'll say that, where'd you go? And you come back in, and that's just like getting in a fight when a woman takes her earrings out. Put Vaseline on.
Put the Vaseline.
You don't want those problems. That's another level. Another level. You go out to your car, bring the football back in. That's another level.
And I tell you, and a lot of people have commented on that too, like saying, "Oh, well, play Derrick Henry or play, and name all kind of people." I'm like, that's fine. Let's go. I'm still gonna line up. I'm not gonna back down, because at that point, it's like, to me, I love the competition. So I'm sure that, I probably will not necessarily get off the line if it was somebody else, well, I might actually, but there's a difference. But I will never back down.
I would have to say we're playing the 80-90 rules where I could grab you, as a DB. I'm not gonna let you come off freely. Right. I'm gonna look at it.
But they had every opportunity. That was not an issue. So play how you want to play. So let's go.
Let's go. I love it, because I know she would have did that. She would have on that. And got her, I'm gonna say basketball. Got her basketball.
Well, I used to be like that. I used to be the only female on the basketball court. So I grew up military. So I was around a lot of military guys, and a lot of those guys played college ball, didn't make it, decided to go into the military. Yeah. I would be the only female on the court, and they would just talk smack, and I'd be like, "Let's go." And then it would come to a time where I'm late coming into the show, and they're like, "Terry, come on!" And then we running with the female all day. We running everybody off the court next. I mean, we're like that playing stage.
But I think that's like, that's the big thing though. I think it starts with the confidence behind it. Like, and this is what I do tell the girls. I'm like, you don't know what you're capable of unless you put yourself to it. Right. So it starts with, you have to start out with confidence. You got to believe in yourself. Even if you don't think you can do it, you got to fake it till you make it. So believe in yourself. You got to start out with some confidence and then see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I don't come off the line. Okay. Well, I didn't come off the line, but what if I do? So you just got to jump out there and see what happens.
But one of the biggest confidence what gives, and when we coach, and I tell, is what you do off the field to prepare for the games on the field, because that's your swagger. Because if you don't put nothing in it, if you don't work at your game, no matter what it is, because when we speak to our kids, we say that to them. I said, you can't tell me that I don't walk around like I'm the greatest coach since Grape Kool-Aid. Because I'm gonna put effort in that, and Coach Terry Bryan, and she does that now. I mean, she's football now.
You can't tell me nothing. No more.
She's constantly. Last night, I mean, I have a long schedule. I come home, I'm laying in bed, and I'm just plopped on the bed, and I'm ready for us. Just relax. I'm gonna run this play. I'm like, hey, all right.
That's so important.
Can you do this? So my next question to you, with all what this said, is have you had a bad game, and you just asked yourself, is this worth it?
Oh, that's a good question. My mind immediately went to way back in like 2003 when I was playing quarterback, because I got sacked every single game. And I do remember that very last game of the season, I got hit, and I feel like it was like I got electrocuted. Like I feel like a shock went through my whole body, and I remember laying on the ground looking up at the sky like, really? Like, is this what I want to do? But other than that, I mean, since then, I can't say that I've had a game where I've asked myself, is it worth it? Because I feel so blessed, and just, it's such an honor and a blessing to be able to play this game. And I know where I've come from, and I know where we as women have come from. So I don't think, and I might just be, different mindset than, the next woman who plays this game, but I don't see it that way, because I every opportunity that I have to touch the field, I don't take for granted. So even having a bad game, you just go back to the drawing board. You go back to that preparation. You go back to figuring out what went wrong and how do you correct it. And it's just action. Taking action from that. But the preparation is so important. You can't show up on game day and expect things to happen. You have to put in that work well before. And that's why, I mentioned earlier, the season isn't April from July, right? April to July, it's October. It's like when you set out,
this preseason right now.
Well, and I guess what happens 5 years down the road, when your babies who are actually growing up, because that would put your oldest son at 21, right? No, 24.
My oldest will be 24.
He'll be 24. Now they come up and say, "Mom, we don't want you to go through this anymore." How you think that would impact an early retirement?
They better not never tell me that.
Is that a polite no?
Says who?
Like, who are you talking to?
No. I don't mean them telling you. But okay, if you get injured and you get hurt, like if something happened to Terry, it hurts me more. Because I'm watching my love go through that. And I mean it that way, as in watching my mom go through this pain. I mean, That's what I mean. I don't mean
think,
telling you because the kids stay in the kids'
yeah,
place.
yeah. I think that I am definitely, I know this and I have to come to terms with it, but I'm definitely at the end of my career. I'm still playing and I think I'm gonna keep riding until the wheels fall off, but I know that I don't have a lot of time left. And so I feel, and when we were talking about injury earlier, I was thinking about it, didn't say it, but if I was to get injured today, I don't know that I would have that same, I have I have passed, I'm not gonna say how old I am, but I have passed my 30s. So so I am like at this point in my life, like I don't think that I would recover the same way I would have in my 20s. So that is something that would have to be taken into consideration, even if it's not, even if my mindset is still there, my body might not recover. I mean, my back hurt. I was walking up the stairs and my knees was hurting this season. I was like, what's going on? So I know it's taking a toll on my body now. And if I were to get injured, God forbid, then I don't think the recovery will be the same as it was before. I think it would take longer to come back. And that's also the reason why when I said I wanted to retire before, because I've said it 3 times now, but I thought I was going to retire and I decided not to retire because I feel like if I take that year off, then the chances of me coming back are very slim. So I don't want to have any regrets with that. I want to be able to play, give it all that I have, because in 5 years from now, when my son is 24 and I look back and say, I should have gave it one more year, I don't want that to happen.
Absolutely. So I need, let's recruit for the.
Well, that's Mr. Brown's question real quick.
Oh, he said, what is your 40 time?
What's your 40 time?
Oh,
And
I
then
run
what's
a
up,
4.640 when I was 19, but right now I don't know. We're
Give her
not
a
doing
ticket.
all that.
We're gonna give you a ticket on
Who's
that one.
counting? Yeah,
That,
when I was
you
19, it
still
was a 4.6.
you're still using that 4.6. There you go.
I'm gonna hold on to it as long. Yes,
There
I'm gonna. I earned that. Okay. Now
Oh
it
my
wasn't
God,
laser
that is
times because
so
back then we
funny.
didn't do that. But it was a 4.6. I ran track, so I feel like I had the training behind it. But I was very quick, back in the day. Now,
I mean, you still got some quickness,
yeah,
please. I see
I'm
it.
sorry. Go
yeah.
ahead.
I
Ask the
see
question.
it. I wanted to say a shout out our niece,
What's up, Goldie?
Mika, and Shanti Lewis just came on. Hey, coaches. She said, hey. And I think I saw my girl Stacy Ferguson come on. Stacy came on. Stacy's my girl. So well, my question was, you made me lose my train of thought. My question was, let's recruit for the Women's Football Alliance.
Yes.
How do you, if a woman wants to play football, what is the procedure?
Yeah. So the thing about football, about women's football, is that we don't have high school women's or girls high school tackle football just yet. So if someone is interested in playing football, a lot of the feedback that I've gotten is, well, I don't know how to play or I don't know the game. But the beauty is that we teach the game. We know that women haven't had this growing up. So we have the opportunity to learn from the WFA, to learn this game and to train for it. The biggest thing is that you got to be athletic. You got to be I'll say even more than being athletic, because we train, but even more than that, you got to have the heart, because that's the one thing that cannot be taught. You got to be able to step on the field, not give up, have a drive behind you, be able to be selfless, right? Because this is no, team. When you're playing on a team, it's not really about you, it's about the team. But there are so many teams across this country that you can pick up today and just lock in. If you're not ready physically to join that team, get involved, connect with that team and learn what it takes. And I say this to any women that I meet: when have you ever had the opportunity to try out for a women's professional tackle football team? So just do it. Even if you don't play, just go out and try out to get the experience and see what it feels like.
And I like you're saying too, and you can get the chance to hit somebody.
Hit somebody. I don't know, I'm yelling at me. But absolutely. But even more than and I'll tell you why I love to say hit somebody, and I actually have a book that's coming out called Hit Somebody. But it's because it's more than physical. I love the hit because, like I said, I love the adrenaline from football. I love the competition behind it, the challenge behind it. But when you get a part of, and this is speaks to me, and I hope it speaks to other people too. But when you become a part of a team, you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself. And so I always tell everybody, when you step into anything that you step into, make it better than when you came. So when you hit somebody, hit it with your love, hit it with your passion, hit somebody with your talents. That is more important. That's the bigger message of hit somebody.
And I love that, to hit somebody, and the way you just explained it is bigger than just the word.
Yes.
Yeah.
It comes through the mental part, the physical part, the understanding the game, understanding your teammates, being part of teammates. So that is broad. That is very
Yeah.
broad and just
Thank you.
hit somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, very broad.
I
Well, when
always
I
feel like
see
I'm gonna get in trouble for saying hit somebody because I like to hit people, but and not get in trouble for it. But 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 it is absolutely more than that, and I really have to just for a second talk about the WFA and why I am so proud of this league because it is the opportunity, it is the access, and it is always the constant evolving of this league, always trying to make it better, always looking for ways to provide for women who are out here, the girls that are out here, the WFA futures. But just, this league has done so much for this sport. And so I'm just very, very proud of it. And I love the fact that there's so many teams because the access is there. And we have it broken down into divisions so that, there is the level of competition can grow. And so I think that's very important to this sport.
And it is. It is. It reminds me, I never forget the moment of A League of Our Own, the
Yes.
women's baseball program. And
Yes.
the show, based on the show, and I love the comedian, I forget her name, she did a talk show. She played third, big
Mm.
part of this movie. And she made a comment in it. She said it was so cool to know it was a lot of ladies like me. Because
Yes.
in her small town, it was just her. And she thought she was different and she was strange.
Yes.
And so it's got to be pretty cool the same way in this league, would you say?
Absolutely. A League of Her Own. When I get goosebumps every time I think about that movie. I watched that movie when I was younger, and every time I think about football, like my goal in life, and I'm telling you, like what I want out of this is I want for when I'm like an old lady down the road. I got a long way to go, okay? But when I'm old lady down the road, I want to walk into that room with all the pictures and all the accomplishments, the museum of
Memory.
things, and I want to say we did this.
Yeah.
That movie gives me so much, like I just resonate with it, and I think about that, like when I started playing football, I was playing very selfishly, right? This is the sport that I love. I want to play this because I want to play. But when I reached out and all those girls across the country, like what you just said is automatically made me think about that. All these girls want to play football too. It was like, what? So that's how I knew I had like a responsibility and a pleasurable one. Like it's a burden, but it's a pleasurable one. And that's, I think, how you know what your purpose and your passion is by the burden that comes behind it. And I don't say that in a negative, a burden might seem
No,
negative, but it's a
right, right.
pleasurable one, right? So it's just something that I need to do. It's a responsibility that I have that, like I was that little girl and I didn't know, I didn't have anywhere to reach for this sport. If I knew there was a woman on the field, I would have learned the game when I was 14 years old, but I
Absolutely.
didn't, and I watched the boys, but I didn't learn the game. So my football IQ came later, but I knew that I wanted to play. So that movie, yeah, I know it's baseball, but yeah, it
No, but
definitely speaks
it's
to
the
my
But
heart.
same.
it's the same
It's the
concept.
same
That
concept. It's the same
yes,
philosophy. And
right,
I think because she can tell you if it's on, I'm watching it. I mean, I'm
yeah,
watching.
yeah,
Number one, to me, I guess I'm not as much of a male boy, male, female, this and girl.
yeah.
I love sports and I
Sports,
love
right.
competition. Because my favorite saying is, as a coach, that shocks people because I say it all the time. And I said, when I'm talking to a young person and they're talking back, and I will say, we're not having a tennis match. And
Yeah.
if we are, I'm Serena Williams in her prime.
Okay.
Because she
Right.
aced you every time.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
one way. conversation went one way. So
Yep.
so I don't look as much as gender. All
Yeah.
I ever say when we talk about the officials, females, males, I don't care. Just be good at your craft. You know,
Yes.
be great at your
Know
craft.
the rules.
Yeah.
Know the
And I
rules, be good
appreciate
at your
that.
craft,
Yeah.
and
Thank you for that so
represent.
much.
Yeah,
Because
because that's
because
all that matters. Yes.
right. It is. And I think that's so true. And I think about that too when we talked about the negativity before, like how when people criticize, you're not going to
Yeah.
criticize someone who's doing less than, you're not going to criticize somebody, if you're doing better than somebody else, you're not going to criticize them. So
What
it's
you
Right.
when
doing?
I think
What you
about
doing?
it, it's like if you're an athlete, athletes respect the game, athletes respect the athlete,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
it's what's
That's
so
that's
I love
it.
that you said that, and I love that that I really appreciate that very much,
Yeah.
and we need
Because
that,
that's
like all
true.
the women. Yeah, we need that. We need the eyes on the sport rather than the gender and the differences.
Yes.
Because
Well,
the
that
sport,
goes
when you
back
look
to
at
what
it on its own, it's
it's amazing.
yeah,
But that
it's
goes back to what
amazing.
you said when the males was criticizing you going up against this person. Okay, I can practice all I want. I can lift, jump. I ain't beating Michael Jordan because
Right.
he's naturally better,
Hmm.
stronger. Okay,
Yeah.
and when they said that, that's why I did this. You should have stole him right in the jaw because that's dumb.
Listen, you can't
Right.
take me nowhere. And they talking football, or we'll be out at a bar. Huh, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Out at a bar, and they'll say something, and I'll be like, why did they do that?
Yeah.
And then I'll be saying something, or I'll say something, and then somebody will say something about what I said
yes.
about
Yeah.
the game, something like that.
The
And
best one
then
is
now they got to start challenging me.
yeah, they're gonna start
Uh-huh.
challenging, and then
Right.
that's when. And now here's what happens is, and again, this is another movie moment of Vinny's cousin Vinny, and when she's talking about the car, and then he just leans back and goes, "Watch this," and I'll do the same thing. And when
Yeah,
they try to
yeah.
counter
Like,
football, I
okay.
go,
All right.
and they're like, "Oh, you don't hear that?" I'll be like, "Man, watch this."
Right. I love it.
It is
Mm,
fun. So Lois, if the
mm.
NFL was to call you
Call
today and
you,
say they want to start a
start.
pro women's
Yeah.
NFL team,
What city?
where you starting at?
San Francisco, the 49ers.
She's starting in DC.
We're starting in 32 cities where there is an NFL
NFL
already
team,
an NFL
yes,
team. We're not doing
yes.
one. We're doing 32. I think
32,
every
right off the
and
gate, right off the
yeah.
gate.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. And the women's football has been proven, right? This is we've been here for 20, the Divas have been here for 25 years, but women's football goes back even further than that. And we've shown that we have a beautiful product on the field. We have talent, we have commitment, and we have women who like to hit people. So, but
Okay.
also the beauty of it too is that um it does have a return. That's a lot of conversation too, is like the sponsorships and like, women's sports don't make the money, but it actually does. And what we've seen is that women who play sports also invest back into women's sports. So the money is there. So it's just a smart move to just go with all 32 teams, have a sister team for every 32 team. Call me right now, NFL. I got the blueprint. Let's
But
go.
my question, and is this, and I just let me finish my question.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. My question is the same thing that happened to the WNBA to me in the
Okay.
beginning when they were trying to get a lot of teams. Okay, when you
Mhm,
get a lot of teams, it's like when they was doing the NBA the same way.
mhm,
You don't think that would water it down if you try to
Mm.
get 32 teams, 45 kid players on a team, or 53, excuse me.
yeah.
Okay, because when I watch them play, it ain't 32 teams, but the
Mhm.
girls who are out there, the women, if you will, are grinding. Okay,
Mhm, mhm,
they're fast, they're strong.
mhm.
Okay, would that be feasible to say you're going to find 53 out of 32 teams to get
Yeah.
it? Okay,
So
I'm not saying you can't. I'm
right, right,
saying
right.
that's the first thing business wise.
Yeah,
I'm
for
a businessman.
sure.
I'm Toyota. I'm a
Mhm,
multi-billionaire. If I bring
mhm,
a team to Lexington, Kentucky, okay, or
Yeah.
Cincinnati, because they got the team up the street. Okay, can I get 53? Can I get 53 in DC? Can I
If
get
you getting
53?
paid,
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah,
criticizing what
absolutely.
I'm saying because
Yeah.
the NBA was going to do that and they stopped because they
Yeah,
felt like
it's a
if they
real question for sure. And
yeah,
I'll first say that there's much of a difference between the NBA and football, right? Like we go back to the apples and oranges of it, only because when I football is just such a different sport. So you're going to have a different viewership in this sport, right? So that's already a factor to consider. But when you look at 32 teams, the WFA has over 60. There are other leagues out there as well that have a lot of teams as well. But when you invest in the women that play this sport, you get the product. So even though it sounds like, we need the money before we can perform, we're already performing. We're already doing it at a high level. You're already seeing top tier talent, elite talent in this sport. But imagine these are women that are able to do it financially and with their time. So if you're able to invest the financial portion and the time, let these women play as a career, like they don't have to go work 2, 3 jobs to play this sport. Imagine what you're gonna get. Are you kidding me? It's a no-brainer. Well, it's a no-brainer to me, but it is a very real question. I appreciate the question for sure. It's definitely something business-minded that you have to consider, but you have to also look at what we're up against. Like these women who are playing, I mean, the other biggest part to it is that the women who are playing now started at 18. So once you start having this system in place, you're gonna get those athletes when they're in their prime. I started playing football after my body had already developed, before I even learned how to know how to train for football, right? So if
right.
you have a high schooler or a college athlete who's learning how to move your body, how to tackle, how to take a hit, then you're going to get the better product on the field. And this goes back to when I was talking about giving the cleats to the girls in DC. If you have the proper equipment, you're going to perform better. So all those things factor in, and those are the answers to providing a better product on the field, is having the resources. But even without the resources, we still making our orange juice and our lemonade because we're still doing it.
And the thing about it is, I knew that answer. Okay, because if you notice, my questions usually follow up by what you say. Okay, and because this is her, and she said it, and the whole point is, and I always tell her, the thing in business, no matter what business you do, is if you're passionate about something, you got to
Yeah.
convince that person who ain't passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And you
true.
have to
Yep.
explain it so they can understand it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't
Yep.
matter if y'all understand, if I understand it, because I'm all in.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
I'm all in.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
let me clarify this to everybody that's listening. I wasn't all in. I was just
Yeah.
there. And then, and the best story I can tell, when I went and watched the ladies play, they were practicing up in Louisville, the Dynamite, and I got my phone, make sure it was charged. So we 2 hours, and I'm sitting like this, and I was in the car, and I could see them in the rearview mirror. I could see them,
Yeah.
and I'm watching them, and next thing you know, the door opens. I'm still in the car. I got to make my point. I'm like,
Right.
oh, whatever. And the next thing you know, long story short, I'm standing on the field going, ooh.
Right. Right.
So it doesn't
Yes.
take much to
Sorry.
convince you. It doesn't take much.
Yeah.
It just says people
Just
just
see
got
the
to love. I
product.
mean,
just see the
Yeah,
product.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think I think that is very true about this league. And I know that, we have teams that are a little bit more structured, that have been around a little bit more established. So you see a better product out of those teams just because of the experience, because of their resources. But I think it really is true. If you watch, and I've seen it across this league, I've been playing for 20 years, right? Once people watch it, they
yes,
lock into it.
you
They
lock in.
believe it. And it's a hard concept because it's not the norm. It's not something that we're used to. It's not something that society grew, we've been growing with. It is definitely a very new concept for society to understand that a woman can push out a baby and then truck somebody on the football field. So, so that's the societal part of it is what gives us a different mindset and a view, a different perspective.
Right. No, I'm
The
not
women,
laughing at you.
but
Y'all both went at
right,
the same time. So
we did.
that's what I was laughing at. Y'all was right
But
here
yeah,
together on that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's true. I mean, once people see it and they're like, "Oh, y'all really do hit." Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
really,
Then
oh,
then
funny and funny.
it's like,
Yes.
yeah.
I
So,
think one of
yep.
the aha moment, we were with some of his alumni that played
Mhm.
at Kentucky, and we were at a barbecue, and we just happened to just have a conversation, and I was just talking about, yeah, I coach a women's tackle football team, and they was like, what?
No. Praise. They're my boys. They good people. Trust me. They went. Then they said what? Now they,
Right. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
gave the look first, and
Yeah. You get
then
the
they looked
looks.
at me like I was going to, like, nah, yeah, she
Right.
So I just pull out my phone, I go to YouTube, I
Yep.
pull up the championship games that the Derby City Dynamite was in, back-to-back championship games
Hmm.
out on at Tom Benson Field, and so I was like, hey, well, here they are.
Yep.
Right
Right.
here,
Yep.
and they were just they were like this, glued to my phone.
Well, they were,
And then finally, and some of them did
Right.
come. They did make it out to a couple games.
well, you got to
Nice.
remember one of them's
Oh,
a
his
stepdaughter
stepdaughter
ended
ended
up
up
playing.
playing on the team.
They
Yeah.
told about
Aw.
what? See, but here's the thing is, and I said this today in practice. One of the young kids said, "Huh." Okay, and everybody looked at him. Everybody looked at him, and I said,
But he was new.
"Not." I said, "Not knowing is not the problem.
Mhm.
Not trying to know is the problem."
Yeah. Yep.
So if a male reacts a certain way, not knowing ain't the problem. It is okay if he stayed, like when they looked at her, yes, and they didn't walk over to look at the phone. That would be the problem to me, because now you're
Yeah.
not open minded.
Yep. Because you're not open minded. Exactly. And I said, I think a long time ago, I was asked in an interview, what's the biggest challenge with women's football? And I was like, it's changing the hearts and minds of people who just don't believe in it. And it's because of that closed mindedness that we can't get anywhere in society. This is, that what keeps us in a box. But when you open your mind to the possibilities that, yeah, maybe girls really are good at this sport, then the possibilities are endless. And this is more about, it's about our daughters and our daughters, right? It's about the future. It's about just the giving them the opportunity to be more than what anyone else can deem appropriate for them, right? So it's like, just the opinions of other people can't dictate where you go in life. You are the one that has to dictate that. And that's the same thing about being closed-minded about, any sport, anything. About, it doesn't even have to be football. And I say this all the time, like, for me it's football, but the message is so important to anyone who has a passion. Don't worry about what the other people have to say negatively about it. What people don't believe in you, get out there and do it anyway. You got to show them. So, but yeah, changing the closed mindedness is tough, but we ain't gonna sit and dwell on nobody who has a closed mind, because we gonna do what we do anyway.
So that was one of my questions that I had. Is that one of the biggest, maybe lies that people believe about women's football, and and why does it piss you off? Like, what is the biggest lie that really just
Yeah,
you
I
off?
think the biggest one is that we can't play, or that we can't hit hard, or that we can't, I done been hit hard by some of these women out here. And I think that's the biggest thing, is making women's football or women's sports second to, right? We are the main event. So don't minimize the talent, the performance, the product that we have, simply because your brain can't think that big. I think it's a societal issue that just has to be broken. And we're
Gotcha.
getting there. I think, with flag being like aggressively growing
That
right
is
now,
gonna
I think
help.
that definitely does help. I do also, I see, okay, so I have a love-hate relationship with this, because I do think ultimately it is going to help the sport overall and provide the different levels of opportunity. But I also don't like that it's so widely accepted before tackle. We've been playing tackle. We've been playing flag, right? So now, because of this flag, y'all gonna accept it now? No,
Now
we
y'all,
play
yeah.
tackle too. So anyway, but I do love flags. So I'm just saying that to say, it's like we are overshadowed. Like every time you turn around, women's tackle football is overshadowed by something, but it's still growing. So we're getting
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So have we touched on everything as far as like we talked about your foundation, we talked about your brand. Have we promoted you enough?
Dude, you've done so much. Thank you so much. Yeah,
I
I'm
want to
like,
make sure you get your flowers because you have no idea how much I admire you. And I think one of the things that you did too for me this past weekend, I was in Cleveland and I held my first women's clinic where I taught women that like that said they love the game of football. And then we had a women's clinic amongst that. And then in that clinic, my friend is a certified official. And so we kind of did the clinic together and we kind of tag team off of it. And now we were like, I think we're on to something. Like how can we make this bigger? Because I know that there are a lot of women that want to learn the game of football.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when, my husband is patient with me as far as learning. No, patient, like 16 years, and he can't watch a game without me. Okay, now why did they do that?
Yeah.
Okay, now what was that? What was that for? Like, I don't understand why that. Can you replay that? Like, we can't watch a whole game where we're not rewinding something, and he's having to explain why something happened the way that it did. So he can't. So now we don't watch a game, and then I'm yelling at the TV. So we gotta watch a game room so that he can watch a game in peace.
No, it's not that she's asking me questions. It's when the yelling starts. So she's no, yelling at the TV. And I'm okay.
I'm passionate.
Okay, like you watch
exactly.
I'm a Niner. The Niner will fumble. This is my reaction if they fumble. Fourth quarter, 1 minute go in the ball game. This is me. This is her. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, the news is on. The news is on. The day's over. The news is on.
Right. Right. It's the passion. But I think it's also that's a good a testament to where we've come from, because if you think about it, women have been pushed out of sports for so long, right? So we don't understand the game like men might, or some women don't understand the game like men might. And that's important to note, because there are some women who want to learn the game but don't want to ask the questions. They don't want to feel intimidated or afraid that they're going to be made fun of or belittled because they don't understand. So it's important to have the space, that safe space for women to learn the game. And so when you have those clinics and things like that, and this is why I do the mentorship, you have to be able to provide an opportunity for them to learn, for women to learn the game in a not like a no judgment zone.
Absolutely.
But it comes the same thing in education, male or female. If you feel like and you don't know an answer or question to something, you feel very intimidated by people.
Right.
You don't say anything. So, even if you have a question, because I've been around males who do that. I mean, I'd be like, guys, you got any questions? And they do, but they don't, because they don't feel comfortable saying the question. They figure they're going to get criticized for the question. And I'm pretty sure you hear that a lot. And I just think that eventually, and hopefully soon and very soon, that everybody understand a question is not a wrong thing to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, because when Terry asked me a question about football, she has realized it's timing. It's when you ask the question. Okay. If the play is going on and I'm just looking at the play and you ask me the question, I'm not listening to your question. And then in the beginning, years ago, she was thinking I was being rude. I wasn't being rude. I'm trying to watch the game.
You're zoned in.
Yeah, I'm zoned in.
Right.
And then now the play will happen. They go in the huddle and she'll say, and then I have no problem rewinding it, because if I haven't seen the next play, it's still at first.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know what happened. So, and she's been very patient with me responding back, because I don't assume so. But anyway, this is my cue. I always leave early and let her wind her show up. It is very nice meeting you. Very nice talking to you. You're amazing.
Thank
and
you.
keep doing what you're doing, and just remember, defense wins games, championship. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you
Go
so
Niners.
much. I agree with you, but thank you so much.
Yeah. So I'm like you, Mr. Brown. I'm trying to figure out with your brand and what you're bringing to the table. I don't understand why $1 million company hasn't picked you up for a sponsorship.
Yeah, I feel like I've had some
It's
really
coming.
great opportunities from a lot of really great big companies. I was uh, a Got Milk athlete. So I was actually in a Super Bowl commercial and on a billboard in 2021. That was the most amazing experience ever. It was my first major deal. And like, I will never forget just how that felt, the whole experience. I felt like this for me, like what? Um, and just seeing the billboard for the first time, like I'm like, wow, this is where, like I said it earlier, but it's my face, but I hope that it's a representation of everyone who plays the sport. And I said that at that time. But also Optimum Nutrition picked me up last year, and I
Okay.
absolutely love their products. Um, but I'm waiting for Nike.
Come on,
But
Nike. Come on.
I mean, it would be nice, but I wear my Nike cleats, I wear my Nike gloves,
Right.
but anyway, yeah, so
That'll
yeah,
be huge.
it's great to, like, there have been and there have been also so many other sponsors as well. Like, I've been able to work with a lot of different brands, Walmart always, um DAZN, there's just Hulu, like there's been so many great opportunities that I've had, and I really don't take those for granted either. I'm so, I just feel so blessed that I've been able to really be in this space where I can make a profit off of this
Mhm.
sport that I'm able to play and be able to get, income from it. But yeah, we gonna still wait for Nike, but
That's gonna be huge, sis, when it comes. I'm not even gonna lie. That's gonna be huge.
yeah, but
The
yeah,
first
I
women's
just,
tackle
yeah.
football team to be signed to Nike. Come on.
Okay. But the other thing too is that I don't have an agent, so I do this on my own, and
Okay.
I don't. And this is not a smart move necessarily, but it is a I'm comfortable with it. But um, if I did have an agent, I probably would pull in a lot more deals. I'm very focused on giving back and, in other areas rather than on myself. So the companies that I have been able to partner with have reached out to me versus me reaching out to them. Also, Parity, I have to say, Parity is a huge, like, amazing organization for women who play sports because they connect the women to the brands. And
Mhm.
I've been with Parity for years, and they have, like, Parity has been just such a wonderful part of my journey. So I love them. But yeah, so
So have you
Nike.
reached out to the DC Council?
Um,
I don't know
I've
who that
spoken with
is.
a lot. Yeah, I'm not really sure exactly who, but we've spoken with the mayor's office, lots of different organizations within DC, to try to expose and just grow from a local level, the DC Divas.
That's good
Yeah,
stuff. Okay, well,
yeah.
I'm gonna wrap this up. So, is there anything that you have that you would like to say publicly that you never had an opportunity to say publicly that you just want to get off your chest?
Hit somebody. No, I've already said that. Oh my gosh. I just I just want to say how great I can't say it enough. I feel so honored to be in the position that I'm in. I truly do this not for myself. I truly do this for the women that I play alongside. Every day I hustle. Like, I literally work my butt off. And there's a lot of hustle behind the scenes that people don't see. I mean, I know I do TikToks, and I know I'm like flying down the stairs and all that stuff, and it seems fun because it is fun. I genuinely get to do what I love. And the reason that I do it is not for me. It's not for a reward for myself. It's because I really do want to see this league grow. I want to be in that room, that a league of her own, in the end when I'm an old lady walking around with a walker, because my back gonna hurt because it hurts now. But I truly, like, I can't say enough that, I I do get a little bit of negativity sometimes about being so public and being the
Yeah,
go-to person,
I get that too.
often.
Yeah.
But it really is for the women who play this sport. It's for those young girls, and it's definitely for the women who came before, who paved the way, to honor them. We're going to carry this sport on, and as if I have anything to do with it, we're going to keep going as far as it can go. So I just want to say I'm just truly grateful to be in the position that I'm in. I half the time don't think that I should be here. It's like imposter syndrome or something, but but I
Mm.
am grateful to be a representative of the women of this game.
Well, I think you're doing a great job of representing this
Thank you.
game. And I, like I said, I tell people all the time that you are the face of women's tackle football because you do just a great job of promoting the women's game, bringing awareness that it even exists. I mean, I think that's the biggest part. That's why I
Yeah.
was like, okay, let me on my thumbnail, let me find the picture of you in your where they can see. I didn't want a picture of you with your helmet on. I needed them to see that you are
The
a woman,
face.
that you actually got on, yes,
Yeah.
uniform that you actually play. And so, I've had the owner of DCD on, and I've had some of my players on as well, and I've had other coaches on from other teams, and I love. I mean, that's why I created Hits and Heels, was because
Yeah.
I was a female football coach. Another one of my friends was coaching middle school football, and we was getting the blues by the men.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
well, she definitely was, because at least on my end, my husband was the head coach, so everybody was a little
So
bit
you had a little
more.
bit more.
I had a
Right.
little bit more, security as far
Yeah.
as people trying to come for me. They couldn't come for me like that. So,
Right.
without going through him. But she was getting
Yeah.
the blues where she was at, and so our conversation was end up getting intense enough to where that's why we created
Yeah.
Hits and Heels, because we still wanted them to know that we love football,
Yeah.
but we're still,
Yeah.
we're women that love football, and that's
Right. Yep.
all it was. And then after
Exactly.
I started and then I found the cleats and stiletto. I was like, oh, I like that. That
Mhm.
is cute. And so I'm
You
glad
know,
that you have the whole
you know
cleats
the
and stilettos.
the crazy thing is I had cleats and stilettos that you could actually look at my Instagram. It was created in 2013, cleats and stilettos. And I've had this name for so long and I've always hated it. I was like, it's so long, people can't spell it. They're
Oh,
always
gotcha.
but it's definitely grown on me now.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've had it for longer than I knew that it was gonna become anything like this. But yeah.
Oh, well, good. And that's what it's
Mhm.
all about. Well, sis, I'm proud of you. When
Mhm.
you, I'm still trying to sneak to
I'm trying to
Canton.
tell you, just like if you just get on that road right now, you just, you
Game.
just
He got a baseball game. I think he got to stay overnight, and so
mm.
he don't even know if I'm
Here.
here. 'Cause, he don't got my location or nothing. So,
Well, call me when you get on the road. I'm gonna talk to you while you drive, okay?
I think I might pull up by the what is it?
By Saturday, by the pro
2 o'clock.
game.
Yeah, yeah. I might.
Yeah.
I know I gotta work Friday. I ain't gonna make Friday, but I think I can get there by 2 o'clock on
Yes,
Saturday, when if I just get up and just get
exactly.
ready and get on the road.
Just
Right.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
think I
got
can pull
to.
up. Yeah, I think I can pull up. But if I don't make it, regardless, please, best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you
Best
so
of
much.
luck to y'all. And
Thank you.
please give Coach Pat. Say, Coach Pat, Coach Terry told me to give you the biggest hug, because that
I
is
will.
my
I will. I will tell you real quick. I know we're wrapping up, but Coach Pap on our game against Pittsburgh, and I feel like I'm going to do it again this game. I was crying my eyes out. It was 55 seconds left, and when we scored the
Oh,
touchdown, I
that
was
was a
like, we
heck
were
of a game.
finally. It was crazy, right? But I'm like, we're
Yes.
fine. Like all the emotions that went through that game. And at 55 seconds, I came off the field, and I was sobbing. I was like doing the ugly cry, like uncontrollable,
Yeah.
because I was so like I was like, we're in this, we're gonna win this.
Yes.
And Coach Pap came up to me and she said, "What's wrong? What's hurt? Take your mouthpiece out so I can know what's wrong." She thought I was hurt, but I
Yeah.
was so happy.
Just
I was
with
just.
the emotion. Yeah, because
It's
we,
been a
I was
lot.
watching
Yeah.
it, and we was like, oh my God, this is a great game. Yeah. So
Exactly, exactly. So and I know I'm going to do it again this game, we're either way the outcome goes, but I know we're going to win, but either way the outcome goes, it is going to be, because you in football, you invest everything, emotion, physical, the mentality, everything
People have
goes
no
into
idea.
it. So you're going to get all of that out of me on Saturday.
Well, good stuff.
So
Well, if you see my
thank
owner
you.
of the DC of the Derby City Dynamite, Kennedy now,
Yep.
make sure you give her a hug, and that's my girl too, and her wife as well.
Yes.
So shout out all them, but I'm gonna pull up. Watch.
Let's go.
I'm gonna pull up. Watch.
Yep.
Anyway, best of luck. Thank you for
Thank
for
you.
coming on. I appreciate it, because
Thank
I knew you
you.
were just getting off the road, and y'all got a
I'm
whole lot of work
I'm
to
a
do
mess.
as far as unpacking and getting everything. It's a
Mhm.
lot of work. I know that goes into championship weekend, and it's all hands on deck there. So thank you for carving out
Thank
this
you.
for being on with us today. And
No,
best
thank you. Sorry for all the background noise, but thank you so
no
much. And
worries.
I do also have to just give you a huge shout out, because it is the platform like this that's able to amplify our voices and tell our stories. That's how we grow the game. So I really appreciate you for taking the time to invest in such a platform to do that. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Absolutely. Thank you for saying
you.
yes. I appreciate you. And everybody else, thank y'all for coming on. As y'all know, I'm on the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you to our sponsor, the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame. We have our gala coming up on September the 20th. Go to layshop.com and get your tickets. Cisco and I are on the red carpet again. So I haven't picked out my dress yet, but we're gonna be sugar sharp as usual. So y'all know how I am. Come and get your selfie with me, because y'all know I love taking selfies with everybody. But anyway, so Lois, thank you. Everybody else, we appreciate you, and we will see you all next week. Don't log off, but I'm gonna end the stream.